Oh boy. We got, but I also do have many other games up the lineup. One of them being, I'm glad I played these games in order so I saw the continuing characters from the beginning. Yes. Oh, I can definitely say Origin was definitely a treat. I don't know how I went without playing that game for so long. 2, on the other hand, I will not speak much about 2.
There are spirits hovering by the veil to observe the thrones of powerful nations, the machinations, betrayals. After our time in Halam Shiral, I understand why. I had forgotten how I missed court intrigue.
Oh, glad you liked it.
I'm pleased you had a good time.
Political gambits, broken promises, half-truths. It is a palace full of motivation, and motivation is where great things happen. In any event, Celine should now be a steadfast ally, and Brialla as well, thanks to your efforts on her behalf.
I hope it helps you.
I hope Brialla is able to use her position to help your people.
How would helping Brialla help? Oh, you mean elves? I'm sorry, I was confused. I do not consider myself to have much in common with the elves.
I agree then.
Nor should you. You're not defined by the shape of your ears. They're not your people.
No,
DA2 was worth one
not.
playthrough.
I
Haven't
joined
gone
the
back to
Inquisition
it
to
though.
save the world.
Yeah.
Regardless of who my people are.
I
This was
like.
the best way to help them.
liked it at
As
first.
for the elves of Orlais, I believe Brialla is doing quite well on their behalf. She is an admirable woman.
I liked DA2 at first, and then I began to really see the rough edges. Story was good, and then yes, boom. I'm gonna play DA2 the most out of the 3. Really, Assassin? Oh yeah. You're a DA2 fan, which I have no qualms against. Because I have talked to people who actually like DA2 over DAI, and people who like DAI over DA2. But DA3 is your favorite? Oh, they're nice. I really like DA3. I like Inquisition. my personal opinion. Hope you guys are okay with it, but Origin so far has been my favorite. Okay, I agree.
She's done good work. Hopefully, with our help, she can help them even more.
Yes. However much I identify, or fail to identify, with her people,
Isabella.
Brialla's efforts have been remarkable.
He was a good character.
She organized resistance against a powerful enemy, using only her wits
Played
and the
Origins a few
resources at
times too?
hand.
Yeah.
That demands respect, especially in a world where most would look at her and only see a pair of pointed ears.
Funny fact, for those of you who don't know, I actually played Inquisition was the first Dragon Age game I played because given to me for my birthday. And I had no idea that there were other Dragon Age games before this one. So yeah, I played this one multiple times before even realizing there was a Dragon Age or 1 and a 2. So it was like, oh, oops. Well, now I played them. Now I gotta play them. I played them. All right. Anything more?
What can I do for you?
Tell me about the elves.
I'd be interested in hearing your opinions on elven culture.
Perhaps you could ask Sarah. She has opinions.
You don't seem to like her.
You don't much care for Sarah, do you?
I pity her. Although I imagine she would detest that. Perhaps in truth, I envy her. She has a purity of purpose that I lack. I have observed too much and done too little. What do you wish to know?
D2 was a 1 playthrough. DAO was the best. Yeah. Tell me about elven magic.
Is elven magic different from the magic used by humans?
No and yes. Magic is magic, just as water is water, but it can be used in different ways. Dalish magic is more practical, not needing chantry approval, although they still frown on blood magic. Superstition. Much of it is more subtle. A legacy from when elves were immortal.
Was mortality due to magic?
The legends of elven immortality. Did they use magic to increase their lifespan?
No. It was simply part of being elven. The subtle beauty of their magic was the effect, not the cause of their nature. Some spells took years to cast. Echoes would linger for centuries, harmonizing with new magic in an unending symphony. It must have been beautiful.
Like, here's an example of stuff I have actually never gone through with before. This stuff I'm talking about with Solus. Matter of fact, I don't think I've really progressed much past Solus before, like, as a matter of fact, I don't think I've really even done much talking with Solus in any of my playthroughs. Like I said, this is thorough. We're doing as much as we can about blood magic.
You said that the censure against blood magic was a superstition.
I did. It's fortunate Cassandra is not within earshot. Most modern cultures forbid blood magic. Publicly, even Devinter disapproves of it. But as I said, magic is magic. It matters only in how it is used.
I mean, I don't mind blood magic.
To be honest, I don't see it as different from any other magic. It's a means to an end.
Indeed. The problem is that under the Chantry, blood magic is forbidden, so only criminals practice it. While in Tevinter, magisters compete with each other, instead of keeping their volatile friends in check. They always succeed through power, so they have never had the chance to learn another way.
How about the ancient elves?
I'd like to know more about the elves from before our time.
The Dalish strive to remember Hallam Shiral, but Hallam Shiral was merely a fumbling attempt to recreate a forgotten land.
Arlathan.
Elvanan was the empire, and Arlathan its greatest city. Place of magic and beauty, lost to time.
And what else?
You've studied ancient elves. What else do you know of Arlathan?
We hear stories of them living in trees, and imagine wooden ramps or Dalish Erebels. Imagine instead spires of crystal twining through the branches, palaces floating among the clouds. Imagine beings who lived forever, for whom magic was as natural as breathing. That is what was lost.
I will have to say, I am absolutely amazed at how somebody could actually come up with such a giant, multiple span of games with so much history, background, lore. It's just like there's so much to intake. Sometimes it's really amazing that they're able to go on the background of all this stuff. It's just like how they're able to come up with stories with after all of that, and then still implement on everything. It's just mind-boggling nuts.
I'd like to know more about the Dalish elves.
It is a mistake to think of the Dalish as a single group. They have lived as separate clans for centuries now. As a consequence, each clan has learned, interpreted, and forgotten different parts of elven history. Some trade freely with humans, or adopt city elves who flee the alienages. Others attack humans on sight.
Tell me about city elves.
What can you tell me about elves living in human cities?
The culture in alienages or among the slaves of Tevinter is like any of the impoverished and powerless. They cling to memories of a better past, and practice a few rituals to distinguish themselves from humans.
Ah.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye. Inquisitor.
Oh.
Do you have a moment?
Oh, I should have quick saved. Oh no. Chad, I might need your help with
What
this
were you
one.
like before the anchor? Has it affected you? Changed you in any way? Your mind? Your morals? Your spirit?
No, not really.
I don't believe so.
Ah.
Why do you ask?
You show a wisdom I have not seen since my deepest journeys into the ancient memories of the Fade. You are not what I expected.
You make that sound bad.
Sorry to disappoint.
It's not disappointing, it's... Most people are predictable. Qunari are savage creatures. Their ferocity held in check only by the rigid teachings of the Qun. But you have shown a subtlety in your actions. A wisdom that goes against everything I know of your people.
What about our friends?
I'm just one part of this team, Solus. What about Cassandra or Liliana?
Cassandra separates matters of faith from those of the world. And she above all should understand how limited that is. Liliana has a brilliant mind, but her faith was damaged. To her, it is all a game of tactics now. But not you.
So what does this mean, Solus?
It means that I respect you deeply, Inquisitor. And I have disturbed you enough for one evening.
That was interesting. Solus. By the way, that is completely new to me. Anything with Solus anything with Solus is completely new. Boop. Ow. So.
Good afternoon.
Okay, well,
We'll talk
all right,
later.
I guess that's it.
Goodbye.
Later. All right, next person to talk with is Blackwall. Blackwall. You and I need to...
Stop
Ow.
following me.
I haven't taken a step. Yet here you are.
I don't know what to do.
Pain hides.
We need to have ourselves a nice conversation here, Blackwall.
Want a drink? I've a hankering for company.
Sure.
When I was a boy, there were these urchins who roamed the streets near my father's house. One day, they found a dog. A wretched little thing. It came to them for food. They caught it, tied a rope around its neck, and strung it up. Do you know what I did?
You saved it.
You stopped them. Cut the dog down.
I did nothing. Not a damn thing. It was crying. I saw the kicking legs, the neck straining and twisting. And I turned around, went inside, and closed the door. I could have told my father, or alerted someone. I didn't. I just pretended it wasn't happening.
So did everyone else.
You couldn't have been the only one there, and no one else stepped in.
Doesn't make what I did any less wrong. I may as well have tied the noose myself. We could make the world better. It's just easier to shut our eyes.
Don't let that stop you.
Nothing worth doing is easy.
Look at you. You would have done the right thing. We're lucky there are people like you in the world. There's always some dog out there. Some fucking mongrel that doesn't know how to stay away.
I feel like I did that a little bit. I feel like I could have done that a little bit better. Yeah, I definitely feel like I could have done that a little bit better.
Inquisitor.
Might be something here. Better take a closer look.
Come on, Blackwall, lighten up? Yeah, right. Inquisitor, you've been a friend and an inspiration. You've given me the wisdom to know right from wrong and, more importantly, the courage to uphold the former. It's been my honor to serve you. Wait, what?
The Spy Master has confirmed it. Blackwall is gone.
Gone where? Liliana must know.
Go on. Liliana knows where he is, doesn't she? She knows everything.
She doesn't know everything, yet. Sister Liliana had us search the Warden's quarters. Not much to find, except this. It was missing from last week's reports. I don't know what Blackwall's interest in this particular matter is, but it could be a good place to start.
A crumpled sheet of paper. It looks like it was removed from a recent report to Sister Liliana. Lieutenant Cyril Mornay, one of the soldiers responsible for the Callier massacre. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Sometimes I'm bad with names and words and stuff. 937 was captured in Lidus. Like the others who were arrested for their involvement, Mornay insists that he did not know who he was assassinating and that he was just following the orders of his captain. This captain, Tom Rainier, is still at large. Mornay is to be executed within the week in Val Royale. My first playthrough, I missed the letter from Blackwall and I just forgot about it. Oh! Oh! That's rude. Oh, man. I mean, Blackwall is kind of forgettable. Like, really. Not much can be really done there. How about, Revelations 10 Mornay's execution. We're gonna set that as active, and we're gonna go ahead and head on over to Val Royale. Oh, Lost Temple. Oh, we need to head over to here for yeah, okay. Boom, boom. Yes, yes, and yeah, Blackwall is gone right now. Confirm. I think I've only gotten to this point of the story for Blackwall once. Out of all my playthroughs. Once, so there's not much I remember about. Oh my god, is it raining? Wait, it's raining? This is new in Val Royale for me.
Cyril Mornay, for your crimes against the Empire of Orlais. For the murders of General Vincent Callier, Lady Laurette Callier, their 4 children, and their retainers. You are sentenced to be hanged from the neck until dead. Do you have anything to say in your defense? Very well.
Who's this man to Blackwall? A brother? A friend?
Poor bastard. So, where's food? Orlesians always stock these things.
Little rude, Sarah, but...
Proceed.
Stop!
A Grey Warden.
This man is innocent of the crimes laid before him. Orders were given, and he followed them like any good soldier. He should not die for that mistake.
Then find me the man who gave the order.
Blackwall!
No, I am not Blackwall. I never was Blackwall. Warden Blackwall is dead. and has been for years. I assumed his name to hide like a coward from who I really am.
You, after all this time.
It's over. I'm done hiding. I gave the order. The crime is mine. I am Tom Rainier.
Oh. What? Wait, what? What?
And when it all cleared, she was still in charge. So what was the point?
Is that her? Here?
Shut it. You know the rules about friends.
Our hero.
There is an issue that you should address. I think it's worth your time, Inquisitor.
Oh, thank you. But,
Those who oppose thee shall know the wrath of heaven.
Aww. Oh, I still need to level up after finishing up. Okay. I definitely need a quick save after this. Okay.
I didn't take Blackwall's life. I traded his death. He wanted me for the Wardens, but there was an ambush. Darkspawn. He was killed. I took his name to stop the world from losing a good man. But a good man, the man he was, wouldn't have let another die in his place.
What you did was brave.
You saved that man. That took courage.
Courage? I killed innocent people. Destroyed Mornay's life and the lives of others like him. One moment of courage will not make up for that.
Stuff my first time. Weird. Yeah, so did I.
Why are you here?
That's up to you.
That depends on what you say.
Don't you understand? I gave the order to kill Lord Callier, his entourage, and I lied to my men about what they were doing. When it came to light, I ran. Those men, my men, paid for my treason while I was pretending to be a better man. This is what I am. A murderer, a traitor, a monster.
I'm not convinced.
Would a monster have given himself up? Somewhere along the line, you stopped pretending.
Yes.
Your crime?
I need to know the details of what you did. Who you killed, why.
I betrayed the Empire and assassinated a general, Ulf Gold. The man was General Vincent Callier. My employer was a Chevalier, Robert Chapuis. Sir Robert believed that Grand Duke Gaspard was the rightful ruler of Orlais and would eventually take the throne. He thought that by eliminating one of Celine's loyal supporters, he might endear himself to the true Emperor. I can't say if Robert's plan would have worked. I didn't care. There was good coin offered, and I took it. By the time Sir Robert's involvement was uncovered, I was long gone. Of course, the Grand Duke disavowed any knowledge of the act and publicly condemned it. Robert killed himself. Poison in his wine. Another victim of the great game.
What did you tell
You
your
got
men?
your men to help you. What did you tell them?
They didn't know who they were attacking. I told them it was an important mission. They trusted me without question, just as your men trust you.
Armies need commander.
Armies are weapons. Weapons don't wield themselves.
Weapons don't have lives, families, dreams. An army is not just a weapon.
You murdered
My
Callier's
reports
family?
say that Callier was with his family. You had them all slaughtered.
I didn't know Callier would be traveling with his family. I assumed only soldiers, armed guards. My men had been told to eliminate everyone. They'd seen war. They thought they were defending their country. No one likes to think about that. But it's names that carry power in this world. Bloodlines. Heirs. No matter how leaders like Celine or Gaspard pretend the game is played, that's how real war is waged.
It shouldn't be that way.
That shouldn't be how wars are fought. There's no need.
War is unfair, and the sky is blue. But you're right. There was no need for what I did.
I want to know something else.
There's another thing I'm still wondering.
Yes?
Who is the real Blackwall?
I need to know about Blackwall. The real Blackwall.
We met in a tavern when I was on the run. I was nothing, a waste of life. But he wanted to recruit me. We headed to Valchavan for the joining. The Blackwall insisted on making a stop along the way. An old ruin from one of the previous blights. He said it led to the deep roads. I was to go down alone, find a dark spawn, and fill a vial with its blood. When I returned, I found the warden ambushed by more of the creatures. He took a blow for me. He shouldn't have died. It should have been me.
Maybe he didn't think so.
Not saying I disagree, but Blackwall clearly thought you were worth saving.
No one should have died for me. He would have wanted me to carry on to Valchavan, I'm certain. But without Blackwall, there's no proof that I've been recruited. That I didn't kill him. I couldn't go to the Wardens. But I couldn't just walk away. So, Rainier died. And Blackwall lived.
Who's Tom Rainier?
Who were you before this mess?
I was a captain in the Orlesian army. Well regarded, respected. But it wasn't enough. One mistake. One mistake and everything I worked for fell apart.
Who's Mornay?
The man on the gallows, Mornay. Who was he?
My second in command. He was a good man. When I heard he'd been caught, I was resolved to stop his execution. Couldn't let another die for my mistake.
That's all for now.
Okay, well, I guess we discuss with Colin now. Okay, that is definitely...
I have Liliana's report on Tom Rainier.
Summarize it.
Give me the overview.
Looks like our friend was once a respected captain in the Imperial Orlesian army. Before the Civil War, he was turned, persuaded to assassinate one of Celine's biggest supporters. He led a group of fiercely loyal men on this mission, and told them nothing of it. His men took the fall for him. A few lucky ones, like Mornay, managed to escape.
Thank you.
This is helpful, or at least educational.
Don't blame yourself. We all made this mistake. What do we do now? Blackwall... Rainier has accepted his fate, but you don't have to. We have resources. If he's released to us, you may pass judgment on him yourself.
What would you do?
If it were up to you, what would happen?
What he did to the men under his command was unacceptable. He betrayed their trust, betrayed ours. I despise him for it. And yet he fought as a warden, joined the Inquisition, gave his blood for our cause. And the moment he shakes off his past, he turns around and owns up to it. Why?
People change.
He wanted to change. To prove that he'd really left his past behind. He had to face up to it.
Saving Mornay the way he did took courage, I'll give him that. But I can't tell you what to do.
Get him out.
Have Rainier released to us.
We must move quickly. We can explore our options back at Skyhold.
New operation available. All right, well, speaking of operations, we still have a bunch of operations that have yet to be done. Even started. Oh god. I completely forgot to set up operations. Kind of glad I did now. Seeing most of them probably would have lasted a couple hours at this rate. Off with his head? No! He owned up to his crimes, man. Blackwall's a bro. Blackwall's a bro.
Inquisitor.
How bracing to be in the thick of the game again. The last time I was at Alam Shiral was Countess Letienne's wedding. There were a dozen affairs, 5 secret alliances, and a duel between 2 chevaliers over the vintage of an Antivan port. But until the Duchess was unmasked, I've never seen the Winter Palace in shock.
But the Inquisitor has to exercise their execution technique. That is very true. A very hard to argue statement. But he's still a bro. He's not getting it. Maybe somebody else. Inquisitor needs a very strong, strict rule. Yes. So yes, off with their heads. Maybe we might, and maybe in the future we might do an evil run. Unless it's Blackwall Cassandra, Big Muscle Beef Boy, Knight Enchanter Lady, maybe a Knight Enchanter Lady. I don't really care for it, but yes, maybe we'll do an evil run in the future and see who stays with. Ha ha ha. Oh yeah, oh yes, you're the Knight Enchanter. Never mind. Oh boy, at least they weren't bored.
No one can say the evening wasn't memorable. They've already begun composing songs about it in Val Royale, no doubt. The game's become increasingly insular in the past few years. Corypheus skillfully took advantage. It's disturbing so few people in the Orlesian court were aware of the Duchess's machinations.
Yeah. Yeah, that surprised me.
You'd think the game's greatest players would spot a murderer in their midst. As I said, insularity. Familiar rivals become the only ones worth sparring with. But let's not lose sight of victory. Your actions at the ball have secured us allies and favors alike.
What does that mean? Insularity? What? Insularity. Ignorance of or lack of interest in cultures, ideas, or peoples outside one's own experience. Oh. Learning with Zircon. Learning words with Zircon. Okay, well that's new. Tell you the truth, I felt very out of place.
I kept dreading I'd drop the wrong spoon or step on a general's foot. Well done. Feuds that spanned ages have sparked over less. Really? Inquisitor never underestimates the enmity of those for whom outrage is a sport. I was hoping you'd be by. We've received letters from Archon Redanus of Tevinter and King Marcus of Nevada. For both monarchs to come to us is nearly unheard of.
I'm not sure I'm honored.
I assume that means they both want something very badly from us. You're quite correct. Archon Redanus requests that the Inquisition, as a neutral party, destroy a venatory cult on the Nevaran-Tevinter border. King Marcus asks the same, but demands we pledge allegiance to Nevarra instead of to Winter.
What do you do?
What course of action would you take if you were in my place?
Strained as their relationship with Orlais is, I would assist the Imperium. Their friendship is difficult to win, and Marcus is a fading power. Winter is the longer, richer game.
What's the King of Marcus like?
What sort of man is the King of Navarra?
At this point, elderly. Many fear his health will soon fail him. Still, he is a Pentagast. Their dynasty is exceptionally strong in Navarra.
Does Cassandra say?
As a Pentagast, will Cassandra be upset if we don't help her relatives?
With all respect to Sigar Pentagast, her interest in politics is best described as thin.
Why does Radanis need us?
Why is the ruler of Tevinter turning on the Venatori?
He has little reason to love them. Archon Redanus has rightly identified Corypheus as competition. Few monarchs relish a self-styled god showing up to claim their throne.
What's the Archon like?
Tell me about Redanus.
Like most Tevinter rulers, he's heir to an ancient bloodline, politically shrewd, and a highly skilled mage. Rumor also claims he has an incredibly soft spot for cats.
Raiding Tevinter.
Tell the Archon the Inquisition will do Tevinter the favor of wiping out the Venatori on its borders.
Very good, Inquisitor. We'll inform him at once.
I'm sorry, he loves cats, so I'm a cat lover myself. As long as he doesn't hate cats, that's fine. That's great. At the same time, I'm also a dog lover. I love dogs. Anybody who hates dogs can go shh. Refrain my words. Okay. Quick save.